breaking news into the Fanfare news feed.
We've got this breaking news at this hour on a planned meeting between outgoing President Joe Biden and President-elect Donald Trump. According to the White House, the two men have now agreed to meet in the Oval Office on Wednesday. That meeting comes as Trump and his transition team are rushing to fill key White House positions, and sources tell CNN we could learn some of those names at any moment. Trump just made history this week by announcing Susie Wiles as the country's first ever female chief of staff. And now there's a scramble underway at Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida as members of his circle and the GOP sphere are battling behind the scenes for a spot on his team.
To stand up for justice!
To stand up for justice!
To stand up for America!
To stand up for America!
Trump is not a legitimate president!
Trump is not a legitimate president!
Trump is not America!
Trump is not America!
We love America!
We love America! That's it! We love you!
Man, that was gutting. It's okay to not be okay right now. It's okay to look at Donald Trump and see somebody who does not understand what everyday Americans care about, what we fight for, what our expectations are, how hard we work. And I say this as a blue-collar kid, son of a cop, first in my family to go to college, who believed that if you work hard in America, it adds up to doing better and dreaming bigger. But when you sell yourself out to billionaires like Elon Musk and Dana White and so many others, how in the hell are you going to convince me that you're going to see the people I grew up with? No, Donald Trump sees himself first and then any other billionaire who can help him. But we're not helpless. And there are more plays on the field. So we got to pick ourselves up out of this grief, put our helmets on, and get back out there. Because the next play is going to decide who implements Trump's Project 2025. Will RFK Jr. be the one in charge of vaccines for our kids, or will we put pressure on the Senate and stop it? There's so much we can do. We cannot give an inch, not a yard, for Project 2025 to become a reality. I'm all in to do it. I'm pissed. This sucks, but I'm not giving up. I know you aren't either. So let's get going.
Well, why were you whispering? Like, you're in your house. Why were you whispering? Did you not want your, girlfriend or someone to see? Those are just two of the videos that I could put together because there are so many unhinged videos. Women shaving their heads, women putting on bracelets to basically self-identify as nuts. Something about deciding they're not going to be, having relations with men. They're going to turn into the handmaid that they were all complaining about earlier. And even CNN, as you heard, when they're announcing, breaking news, that Trump and Biden will be sitting down on Wednesday at 11 o'clock. I hope it's televised. Of course, I'll cover it if it's televised. But if you notice what she was saying, Trump is struggling to find the right people. There's some infighting with him trying to select who's going to be in his cabinet. The hell are you talking about? He's not struggling. I'm pretty sure he knows exactly who he's going to bring into his cabinet. The one problem is you probably have rhinos crawling, trying to get back into the White House, into his good graces. And hopefully with Susie Wiles as the chief of staff, she's like, no, we're not having these people. It ain't going to happen. Welcome to a weekend edition of Breaking News Update. 71 days until Trump takes office, and I'm sure every single day is going to unveil something else. So I decided no one else is doing it, so I'll give you guys the news as it has transpired over the last 24 hours as Trump is moving towards his inauguration. And boy, is it happening fast. I mean, really fast. So unless you're always up on this stuff, you probably don't know it. So I'm going to tell you something right now. He is making these people, as you saw in that intro, flipping mad. They don't know what to do. And I personally feel, as you see this video, we are seeing basically the end of the Democrat Party. And what I mean by that is, whether or not you have something wrong with you, you know, the old joke, hey, my arm hurts. You go to the doctor, hey, my arm hurts when I do this. And the doctor says, well, then just don't do that. Okay, here's your solution. These people don't realize what happened on Tuesday. They don't even understand why it happened. The first way you can fix something that's bad with you is to admit something's bad with you. Hey, Barry, you need to lose some weight. Until I would admit, hey, listen, I can't eat these blueberry muffins, yeah, I have to do it. If you're a smoker, people say, hey, man, you're smoking, you should do something. First thing you have to do is, yeah, you're right, I need to stop smoking. If you were doing drugs at one time in your life, it took somebody to say to you, dude, you need to chill with this, you're going to ruin your life. But you could have 100 people tell you that, but until you decide to make the decision and have some introspection, nothing's going to change. Well, right now, these people don't seem to remember Tuesday. Although it was just 3 or 4 days ago, it might as well have never happened. So until they decide to look deeply at what has happened with this election, with this landslide election, nothing's going to change. We may never see them win another election for 10 or 12 years or more, depending on how Trump gets to execute his agenda. I'm completely serious with that. The people in office right now, the people in the media right now, have no clue why they lost. They're so stuck in their bubbles on the West Coast and the Northeast, they don't understand that they've been completely, wholly, thoroughly rejected by most of the people in this country. If I were at CNN or if I was in MSNBC, I would say, talk to my boss. Hey, Mr. Boss, maybe we should open an office in Oklahoma. Why would we open a studio in Oklahoma? Because the people here don't seem to have any clue. All they're doing is talking in circles, talking to people who are just like them. They're walking down the hall and going, hey, can you believe this? And the people down the hall goes, no, I can't believe this. I can't believe what's going on. Well, that's because you're talking to the same people. You're talking to the echo chamber. Your peanut gallery is wrong. Go out and put up a studio in Oklahoma and start seeing what real people think. See, what is real life? You don't have the ability right now because you all think that you know better. You know better than the people in Oklahoma and Mississippi and Alabama and, Nevada. You think you know better. Until they come down from their high horse, and I'm going to show you some stuff today. You're going to go, oh my God. Barry, did you make that video up? Is that AI? Nope, not AI. This is the kind of crap they're talking right now. Meanwhile, Trump's out there kicking butt and taking names. Check this out. Trump, breaking. Trump promises to demand voter ID and proof of citizenship in future elections. I don't know how he's going to get that done. Maybe they'll be able to pass a law quickly. I don't know. But he's going to push for voter ID, which is going to cause these people to do backflips and turn into Linda Blair like the Exorcist. Their heads are going to spin. They cannot even fathom that, you know what, people might have to check IDs and be citizens to actually vote in this country. How dare you want to check an ID? Yet every single one of the people that you say don't have ID, can't get ID, shouldn't have to show ID, and get an ID to cash a check. Every single one of them. I said, hey, listen, I'm going to give you $1,000. And I'm going to send you a check. And they're like, sure. When they get that check, they're going to stare at it and go, okay, now how do I make this into cash? Oh, I'm going to have to go to a bank or a check cashing store, whatever it may be. And when they walk in there, I got this $1,000 check. Can you cash it? Sure, you got an ID? Yes, I do. Because you know they have it. You know specifically the people in this country have I can't even imagine how small the percentage of people who don't carry ID. I mean, you may not have it in your wallet. You may have to go home and get it. You got it. We know you got it. because you're getting these EBT cards and all this free stuff. I guarantee you when they're handing out those EBT cards, except for the newcomers, they're out there just throwing them to them, which is about to end, thankfully. But everybody else got to show ID. there's no doubt. Then this came out, which, you know this. J.D. Vance says, the United States could drop support for NATO if Europe tries to regulate Elon Musk's X. So this thing is really, really, really bothering them. It's like really freaking them out. It's like, wait a minute. You got this trillionaire dude, almost trillionaire, who's cozying up to the president. By the way, there's nothing illegal about that. There's not a qualification on how many zeros you have in your bank account, which makes you ineligible to talk to the president. There's no such law. But they don't like it because he controls X. If he was a billionaire like, Soros and just owned 200 radio stations, they wouldn't have a problem with it. Why? Because nobody's listening to radio. I don't even know why Soros bought those radio stations. It makes absolutely no sense. Dude, the last time I've turned on a radio? I don't know the last time I've turned on a radio. I really don't. I get in the car, or I get in Robin's car, and either the car, and probably yours, what's on? Sirius. I can choose music, news, things I want to hear. I'm not turning on a radio. Who listens to a radio? You guys can leave in the comments. Who listens to a radio? And so Soros goes out and buys 200 AM radio stations across the country, and I'm like, damn, I have never even turned the dial. I don't even know how to select the right input on the dashboard to get to AM. It's never been changed. When we got our cars, it came equipped with Sirius. We renewed it, and it just sits on Sirius. Who listens to radio? So they have a problem with Elon, but they don't have a problem with Soros. Got it. You had a problem with Elon, but you don't have a problem with Bill Gates being all up in everyone's business about the jab-endemic, right? He was all out there talking about, hey, you need to take this, you need to do that. No problem with that billionaire, right? No. But this guy, because he controls and owns a huge social network, which I told you about last night, it's freaking him out. And now you're going to leverage X against NATO. Hey, listen, you guys want to F around and find out? Go for it. You go ahead and go after this guy, and we're going to turn off NATO. We're not going to pay. Oh. A lot of sphincter tightening going on. Lots and lots and lots. How big is the sphincter tightening becoming? And I can't believe it. I've never seen a period of time from the date of an election to like literally 3 or 4 days later where so much news is breaking. And that's why I decided to do this show. I said, listen, people need to see what's happening. So, I don't know if you've seen this. Breaking. Gonna get that theme throughout these shows. FBI Director Christopher Wray is expected to step down prior to Trump's inauguration. Ha ha! The rats are scurrying. Like, oh shit, he won. I'm out. Oh, you ain't going nowhere though. Preserve your documents, Chris. Preserve everything you've done. We're going to be taking a look at that, Chris. We want to see all your emails. We want to know who you've talked to. You can leave. That information is staying, Chris. It ain't going anywhere. Sorry. We're going to check some stuff out. Wow. Why would the director of the FBI not even... I think Christopher Wray was actually appointed by Trump in the first administration. Somebody bamboozled Trump into doing that, one of the rhinos, and now he knows, oh shoot, I need to get out of Dodge before this guy comes back. Okay, you can submit your resignation, but don't go too far. By the way, we'll be watching you, Chris. We're going to see where you decide to take off. And by the way, call your buddy Comey. We're going to be digging into some of that stuff too. That's why you had all these people for so many months going, Trump's going to go after his opponents. No, you're not an opponent of Trump. You did something to the United States of America. That's what these people tried to conflate. They tried to make it look like Trump was going after people who wronged him. No, Trump will be going after people who wronged America. You did something, Chris. If you don't have anything to worry about, then chill. You're going to be fine. You ain't going to have a job either way. Just save yourself getting thrown down the stairs and jump out the window. Because you're done. And you're going to see more and more of that. More breaking news. Plans are already being drawn up in the Trump team for mass deportations per the Wall Street Journal, which is funny because CNN earlier in the intro was saying that the Trump team was scrambling, trying to find people. Scrambling? No, you just don't know about it. You don't have that access anymore, CNN. So everything Trump is doing, you're not going to know about it until he decides you need to know about it. You are surely, all you media people are now on a need-to-know basis. Sorry. The plan, first, target the 1.3 million newcomers who have already received orders of deportation from a court, along with newcomers who have other criminal convictions or charges. So y'all are in the first tranche. You're in the first group. You got the expedited delivery. I'm sorry, you got the big old Amazon Express delivery. We're going to come to your house first, wherever you are. You're going to be kind of hard. No, you won't be that hard to find because they've been sending you money and reloading your EBT cards. So we know where you guys are because you've been getting the money. You've been at the hotels. You're first in line. You can go now. You don't have to wait. I still can't say the words because I don't know how these people react, but pretty much I should have just said it because with what I'm going to show you, they're probably going to make me delete the video anyway. I got some stuff for you today. It's like, oh, yeah. Wait till you see some of this stuff. Let's see, what else we got here? Oh, this is another one. This might freak them out. President Trump plans to terminate the U.S. relationship with the WHO and stop their efforts to surrender our sovereignty with this jabademic treaty. The WHO is a globalist scam paid for by the U.S. They tried to bribe him with a $30 million deal, but he said no. This man is taking a chainsaw to all of the pillars of the left, and he's doing it fast. Yesterday, in case you didn't see yesterday's video, he said he's going to get out of the Paris Climate Agreement. That's done. Now he's going to go for IDs, and Christopher Wray is flying the coop. And then now he's like, you know what? Y'all next. WHO, we're done. Done with you too. And we're only 4 days in. 4 days in. It was November 5th. It's November 9th right now. Maybe later when you're seeing this video, but as of November 9th, he's already telling people, you, and you, get the F out. We're not going to play in this sandbox anymore. And the thing I keep saying, I went and got a haircut today. That's why my hair looks probably better, the little bit of hair I have. And I'm talking to the guy, he's cutting my hair, and he's like, can you believe that what Trump is doing? And I played stupid. No, what's he done today? And the guy's like, I can't believe he's talking about getting out of the Paris thing and he's getting out of the WHO. I'm like, really? Really? Did he do all that already? Yeah. And the next word out of his mouth was, if he can do all this, and it's so easy to do to put money back in America's pocket, why didn't these other people do it? And I just sat and smiled. Like, welcome to the Republic. I thought to myself, welcome to the Republican. No, welcome to the MAGA party. Because right now, there's a lot of people sitting back going, what, all these world leaders are coming and meeting you. All these people are quickly changing their tune. The EU, yesterday, if you didn't see yesterday's update, you may want to go see it. The EU decides, hey, we're going to buy gas from America and give you billions and billions of dollars. Is that okay, Mr. Trump? You won't throw us any tariffs? Yeah, that'll work. You guys are cool. You're going to buy billions. We can work something out. And so people, smart people, people who have a functioning frontal lobe, at this point have to be asking themselves, why didn't they do it? The same question people ask Kamala over and over. I'm going to do that. Then why didn't you do it? You're telling me that's all he's got to do is come in and go bup, da bup, da bup, da bup, and the rest of the world is like clapping and applauding that the adults are back in the room, yet our nutty media are the ones screaming? You don't think there's a little bit of a disconnect there? Why would these other countries be coming to him and going, thank you, sir, kiss the ring, kiss the ring? Why would they be doing it? I mean, you told everyone that he was Hitlerian. You told everyone that he was a fascist. You told everyone, he was racist. But yet we see at the same time people like coalescing with him. And if you really, really, truly felt that this man was Hitlerian, that he was the second coming of Adolf, why are you inviting him to the White House? Anyone thought about that? Why would you bring an obvious racist, fascist, Hitlerian dictator and gladly sit with him on Wednesday morning? Aside from the fact that you hate Kamala, why would that even happen? Because you lied. You lied. And then just to show you that we talked about last week, that I said there's something going on with Eric Adams in New York. Trump wants he and Eric Adams to kind of bury the hatchet. And then this pops up. And I'm telling you, all this happened this morning. Breaking, or report, Trump seeks to revitalize Penn Station and New York City, and he spoke with New York Governor Kathy Hochul from the New York Post. So wait a second, wasn't she one of the ones who said he was basically Adolf as well? Didn't she say that? Yeah, she said it. But now he wants to help revitalize Penn Station in New York City. That's not a federal project. Why would he want to do that? Why would Trump be extending an olive branch into New York City and saying, let's clean up Penn Station? Those of you who don't know where Penn Station is, it's one of the major hubs in the country. And for transportation, trains, buses, everything goes through, in the Northeast, goes through Penn Station. It's also right adjunct to Madison Square Garden. It is a major hub of transportation throughout the Northeast. And Trump's now saying, let's make America great again. When was America great again? When Penn Station looked like that. That's when America was great. When Penn Station looked like that and wasn't surrounded with homeless people and fentanyl dealers and women of the night and everything else. That's when America was great again. So this has all happened. And I just have to keep pinching myself and also reminding you guys that this has all happened in 4 days. Four days. And I'm thinking to myself, man, this guy is just killing it. I mean, there are already people out here putting artist renditions of what Penn Station could look like with a complete revitalization. They got nothing. I mean, seriously, he's very smart. He knows I'm close to taking New York. I'm not running again, but, the Republicans were the next MAGA candidate. Wouldn't it be fantastic if I helped revitalize the biggest city in the country? And if I revitalize the biggest city in the country, then we're going to get a lot of votes out of Manhattan and the surrounding areas, aren't we? Yeah. Oh, and by the way, those people on the West Coast who have seen everything that Gavin Newsom has done, they're seeing this too. They're going, wait a second. Wait a second. He's going to help clean up New York? Yeah, because your governor, as much as she didn't like him and called him a Hitlerian fascist, didn't say she was coming together, as of yet, to try and stop him, like your guy's doing, and some other idiots are trying to do. trying to stop him. Good luck. Good luck. And that's what leads me to this. Alex Berenson, if you guys don't know, he's a writer, and I saw this post. I thought it was fantastic. Imagine setting your party on fire, the Democrats, to protect the rights of criminals, drug users, newcomers, and men who want to use bathrooms, and then not understanding why you lost. You did all that intentionally for whatever reasons you wanted to do, and now you're all complaining that we still have the right ideas. Everything we're doing is what people actually want to see. I'm not sure, why we lost, Doesn't make sense. They don't. And so what I'm going to show you over the next, I don't know if you guys stick around, the next 30, 40 minutes, are complete examples of that insanity. And I'm not talking shaving the head stuff. That's everywhere. I'm talking about the actual people in the media who caused Kamala Harris to be defeated, who don't want to admit that they were the cause that she was defeated, why she was defeated. Take a quick gander at this.
This whole yes, that is it. It's not about, how can we, I've been very dismayed actually by this whole working class voter conversation, because are black people not working class?
Okay.
If you really want to boil it down, if it was really about the issues, if it was really about the message, how did the message break through to black working class people and it didn't break through to the majority of anybody else?
That's a question you have to answer. They don't believe that it was about the issues. See, that's 4 days later, and if they've done their autopsies and postmortems, they do not believe in New York, Washington, L.A. This show happens to take place, I believe, I see the Capitol behind Michael Steele, so this may be a Washington story, and I see the other one has New York in her background. But you're in that bubble. You're in that Washington, New York bubble, that beltway. And you can't believe that black people didn't want certain things. They didn't want Transformers. Oh, they didn't want a black woman. You just can't even fathom it. There's nothing that these people can do from an introspection basis to understand it was about the issues.
And I see y'all white women and Hispanic voters out there that are in my inbox right now saying, but we voted for her. Yes, but let me explain this how this works, okay? As a black woman in America, if something happens and somebody does something, then it's like, I understand I didn't do it, but we got to address the things for everybody else. So this is the box that we're in. I understand there are white women out here that voted for Kamala Harris, but baby, 52% of y'all voted for Donald Trump. And this was not the first time. So for the third time. So y'all got to come together and address it internally. So I understand.
What's there to address? They're calling out people, in this instance, white women, who somehow you were too stupid to see that Trump is just such a bad person. Now you need to come to grips with what's happening. I've came to grips with it. I was living in a situation where my groceries and my gas and all this other stuff was happening, and I think this guy can change it. So that's why I voted for him. Not because I didn't want to vote for the somewhat black woman. They won't accept that. There must be some other reason.
You didn't do it. But enough people did, but y'all gotta have a conversation. So that's just how, I'm just helping you understand, this is just how it works. But it is, the opportunity for the Democratic Party apparatus is actually within the base of the party and the people that did not come out. They were fighting the couch this entire election, the Democrats were. And so the question is, why is there this insatiable need, Bishop, to go to, the immediate response was, okay, well, the party is just, too progressive, too this, too that. I mean, you have Democratic lawmakers. Seth Moulton, got up there saying whatever he thought he would say. My former boss, Bernie Sanders, said, the Democratic Party has abandoned working class people. That is actually not true. Now,
how are you telling people what their truth is? You see, the truth of the matter is what each individual person believes. not because you are on high in a studio with MSNBC, you're going to tell them what they live is not reality. You even have, as she said, people in the Democrat Party going, you know what, this whole progressive stuff ain't working. Oh, it's not. No, that's fine. The progressive stuff is absolutely fine. We're doing the right thing. It's these people need to really look inside themselves. It's not what you think. Well, tell me what it is. It's you. You have the problem. Since you voted for Trump, you are the problem.
We can talk about how we talk about it, right? We can, and this is probably not a popular conversation for Democrats to have, but perhaps maybe too much union, not enough worker. Okay, so to be clear, I'm sorry, but I love the unions. I love them. They do good work. You better thank a union for the 40-hour work week and overtime pay. However, everybody in the country is not because of some of the laws that are in Republican governors in many places. Everybody, there not as many people are members of the union. So if you're talking about union members versus workers, there's another thing, and there are black and brown people in that category.
They can't get off the race thing. I don't understand it. I don't get it. But there's a couple things, the themes you're going to see in a few of these videos where there's just no identity in terms of what the Democrats want to attack. You black people, you let us down. You Hispanic people, you let us down. You white women, you let us down. You white men, you let us down. I remember, talking to some people at one point, and they're like, if you're managing people and all the people in your department quit, maybe it's not them. Maybe it's you. You have to basically be able to look yourself in the mirror and say, mirror, mirror, is it me? Does my breath stink? Do I need to take a shower? Do I not know how to talk to people? Am I not motivating people the right way? And then do something about what you are doing. Not these people. It's all them. We're perfect. We got our shit together. It's all them. They won't accept it.
This insatiable need to run towards people that have not voted for that voted for you in recent history since 1964 en masse. I don't understand.
There's this sense.
Oh, you're going to love this one.
Right, that whiteness, right, is under threat. The demographic shifts. The country isn't what all of these racially ambiguous children on Cheerios commercials.
What? Racially ambiguous children on Cheerios commercials. What in the hell are you talking about? Are you actually looking so deeply as to say, hey, these people who are in the Cheerios commercials should be black? Because we can't tell if they're mixed race or their skin pigmentation is lighter. How do we identify what they are? Their hair may be straight, but then their hair might be curly. I can't tell. Where's the blackness? Whereas most of us look at it and go, number one, we ain't watching commercials. I click, fast forward. Number two, you've rammed down our throat for years. I've seen more alternative LGBT you-know-what in commercials than I've ever seen in my life. I know they represent this much of the population, but they're everywhere. I'm seeing commercials for everything. I'm seeing commercials for that certain disease, and I'm like, why am I seeing this? Do these people not know how to buy television commercials? Why am I seeing a commercial for two people and how to have safe you-know-what? Man, I hate talking this way. Like, Elon, you got to do something with your monetization because, damn, I hate having to self-censor. But y'all know what I'm talking about. You see the dude go, hey, how you doing? And I'm like, I just turned the commercial, or fast-forwarded, but I'm like, what's going on? Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
Are confusing the hell out of me.
Eddie, a lot of people voted because their life's too damn expensive. And it was here and it was...
They voted for... You're telling me, Stephanie, that all of these people who believe that their lives are... that bread is too high and eggs are too high, that they voted for a convicted felon, A guy who said we can grab the P.
I think that a lot
They
of people,
voted for this guy.
If I didn't see this, I wouldn't have believed it. So you're seeing it now. He cannot even fathom. Even the host on MSNBC is trying to talk to him. It's like, hey, man, yeah, these people voted because their prices are too high for the gas and their groceries. And he's like, you're telling me they would vote for somebody else. This guy who's going to, could have went to jail and he did this and he wants to grab women here and there. They voted for that instead of voting for Kamala? Perhaps Trump talking about grabbing somebody by the P is simply locker room talk that most men have heard. One of your best, most successful president did some funky stuff with a cigar. But we're supposed to be upset because a billionaire playboyish type guy at one point on some television show way before he ran for president said, yeah, I can do what I want. I can grab him by the you-know-what. You don't think like half the guys in the NFL think the exact same way? You don't think the guys in the NBA think the same way? Or, ask John Bon Jovi. He basically helped out Kamala. Ask him what he did in the 80s. I could tell you, because I promoted some of his shows. Ask Nikki Sixx and Tommy Lee what they did back in the 80s. Oh, by the way, you don't have to ask Tommy Lee. The videos were all over the place. You can ask Bruce. You remember Bruce was married and then all of a sudden Patty Scalfa showed up and nobody wanted to know how all that stuff happened. What do you think Bruce was doing in Asbury Park back in the, 80s? And now all of a sudden you're pearl clutching going, oh my God, he said, do you realize this guy once said he would grab him by the you-know-what? Dude, there's people in your own network who said stuff like that. Does he not know Matt Lauer? Should we all forget Matt Lauer? It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Not defending it, but I think there are tons of people that don't pay attention to, and I'm not defending it, don't pay attention to politics at all. But while we live in the most prosperous country in the world, people are saying, life's not fair, I'm not doing well, my son's still living in the basement, I can't seem to get a job, I don't like the status quo, I'm voting for something else, and he was the person.
I love you to life,
I love you,
but I do not believe that.
Mm-hmm. Passionately, he leans in. He leans in passionately to tell her it's not true. They voted against Kamala because they're all racist. They don't believe that they're racist. They don't even know that they're racist, but I'm going to tell you, they're all racist. That's why they didn't vote for Kamala. That's why. They overlooked everything this man did. The orange man really bad. Kamala's fine. If we're going to judge people about what they did in the 80s, you want to talk about what Kamala did back then? I'm just saying. Trump said this in the 80s, and he was on television, and they recorded it. And what do you think Kamala was doing back in the 80s, bro? Oh, we know. You know. We all know. Ask Montel. Ask Willie. We know what was going on back then. But to overlook Trump's means that you're actually a racist.
I cannot believe that. And the reason I think you believe it is because you don't want to believe that that's what's really motivating them. It's always the case. People don't want to believe what the country actually is.
This is like quality entertainment. See, I would have watched this live. If they told me this was going to be happening live, I probably would have popped some popcorn, no butter, and I would have sat there and watched this and gone, this is some good stuff. This guy's his head's about to explode. He is so far over the top. The host of the MSNBC show is like, damn, dude, you know what happened on Tuesday, right? You realize what happened. Do you ever want to win another election? Ever? Seriously, that's the continuing theme of this next 20 minutes is think to yourself, do these people ever think they're going to win another election with their mindset? The amount of virtue signaling and the amount of complete insanity that we did. Trump, you uncovered, you revealed that we need insane asylums from doesn't matter what level you are. This dude's insane. He's absolutely insane.
Because if they believe it, they're going to have to confront what's in them. I don't believe that.
What am I confront? What about me? Oh, yeah, I must be something you need to psychoanalyze real bad. I'm a black man, married to a white woman, and I've got a biracial child, and I voted for Trump. And I got a Mexican dog. And a new dog from Malta. Maltese. So, wow, which box do I check? You know, and obviously the melanin in my skin is not as deep as the melanin in your skin. So what do you expect me to do? Don't jump me to get to the white people. Talk to me, the guy who's presumably black. What happened with me? I don't understand.
They voted for a crook, a person who they know is stealing from, just doing everything to undermine the so-called country that they love. And then they're telling us the BS that it's economics.
I'm positive if you hadn't seen this, there's no way I could explain it to you and go, they don't really understand why they didn't win. They think the reason why they didn't win, they're so pissed off, is because y'all are all racist. Even the black ones. There's no way you can tell me that they put their economic interest ahead of Kamala. There's no way. There's no way your 401k matters more than Kamala, the black woman, the somewhat black woman. No way. There's no way you would have worried about gas prices and grocery prices and rent and everything. There's no way. You can never convince me. The only thing that convinces me is that you are racist. I hope these people are around in 2026, 2026 and 2028, because damn.
We know that's not true.
And so now he goes on at yet another show, the same guy. Listen.
America's not unique in its sins as a country. We're not unique in our evils, to be honest with you. I think where we may be singular is our a refusal to acknowledge them. And the legends.
I mean, I gotta say it along with the host on this platform, because that seems to be the answer to someone who's off their flipping mind. Instead of, dude, you're crazy. The right refrain is,
The myths we tell about our inherent, goodness to hide and cover and conceal, so that we can maintain a kind of willful
and the other white guy's nodding his head. Yeah.
Ignorance that protects our
Don't speak. The black man's talking, and just nod.
innocence. See, the thing is that when the Tea Party was happening, we were saying, pundits, oh, it's just about economic populism. It's not about race. When people knew, social scientists were already writing that what was driving the Tea Party were anxieties about demographic shifts. That the country.
Was he talking about the one in 1776 or the Tea Party a couple of years ago? Because either way, the guy's a moron. The original Tea Party, as we know, was because of overtaxation, and they threw the tea away. The most recent Tea Party, they were complaining, and it wasn't about race. It was what was happening to the country. Remember, as you're watching these videos for the next few minutes, that this happened in the last 24 to 48 hours after a landslide election. And they're making no reparations. They are making no attempt to remedy the problem, because it's them. They're the ones who can't look in the mirror. They're the ones who think that American exceptionalism is some kind of pipe dream that we should never aspire for. They're the ones who said America's never been great. They're the ones who say that we should bring in as many newcomers as possible because they need to clean our toilets. and then try to posture as if they're not the ones who are actually racist. They're the ones who are actually doing all this.
It was changing, that they were seeing these racially ambiguous babies on Cheerios commercials, that the country wasn't quite feeling like it was a white nation anymore. It's easy for us to place it all on Donald Trump's shoulders. It's easy for us to place.
You find it odd that he's talking to three white people and they're all just sitting there going, yeah, you're right, bro. Yeah, you're right.
Pittsburgh on his shoulders. It's easy for me to place Charlottesville on his shoulders. It's easy for us to place El Paso on his shoulders. This is us. And if we're going to get past this, we can't blame it on him. He's a manifestation of the ugliness that's in us.
This guy's angry. Oh, it's us. Problem because we won't get over the fact that slavery was 260 years ago. You're still fighting the Civil War. You're on a television show with Nicole Wallace. You're on MSNBC. Somebody is paying you to spew your drivel, and you still think that there's some sort of fight. We had a black president. We could have had another one. She could have won. But her policies were so disgusting, she didn't have a chance. As Trump would say in rally after rally, and many of you heard it, I've never heard a candidate run on raising taxes. That wasn't black or white. That was green. You want to take more of my money? Yes. So you raise the prices on everything, and you want to take more of my money? Yes. Remember, she said, we have to raise taxes. That has nothing to do with the color of her skin. That has nothing to do with the color of Donald Trump's skin. That is green. That are people with 401ks, with jobs, who get up and work every single day. That's these people who are trying to get ahead, trying to give their children a good life. And you're worried about what color people are voting for. As I've seen many times, Trump's now basically a certified, N-word. People are anointing him, going, he's the next black president.
Change, Nicole? And babies are going to have to grow up without mothers and fathers, uncles and aunts, friends, while we're trying to convince white folk to finally leave behind a history that will maybe, or embrace a history that might set them free from being.
What? Kids are going to have to grow up without parents because of you? The Democrats believe that the destruction of the nuclear family is because of white people? Not because of the welfare state? Not because of you've attacked the black family? Not because you've removed the father from these homes and many of them are in jail? Not because rap culture encouraged baby daddy, baby mama stuff? You're going to blame everything, all the ills on what affects the black community on white people? There's a special kind of hell for these kind of people.
White. Finally.
Yeah, and we know that there's been
Now, before I get to this witch, let me stop here and take some comments, because I'm going to give you guys a break at this point, because it's just incessant what they're doing. There's been no, the word I like to use, contrition at all. Hey man, what did we do wrong? How did we get landslided into near oblivion? How did they not want, when I say they, how did America not want what we were selling? What do we need to change to make it better for 2026? And right now, if I'm a MAGA Republican running for office in 2026, I'm drooling. Because the early returns are, they're not going to do anything different. They have decided this is it. We're all in with this, and we're going to ram it down your throat as much as we can, until 2026 and 2028. We're fine. It's you people who are wrong. Don't you get it? So we're just going to keep on keeping on, calling you all kinds of names, and you're expecting to get elected in 2026. Good luck with that. Good luck. Unfortunately, it shows how successful the dumbing down of society. Yeah. Somebody goes, I'd love to be your white host, Barry. We could move mountains. We love your input, and okay, that was something else. The act of contrition is unknown to libtards. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, they're out there doing everything but introspection. You know, somewhere I'm thinking, just because I believe in people and I believe in America, somewhere I'm thinking there's some politician somewhere who may be anti-Trump, anti-MAGA, who's sitting back and he's plotting and he goes, I'm going to have a clear pathway. If I run for office here, I can basically posture myself as not being Trump, but I could also say I want to do all these different things. And then when the person does all that and he checks and he puts his plan together and what he's going to run for, he's like, shit, I guess I'm MAGA. Because the other stuff makes no sense. If you were going to run against a MAGA Republican at this point, what would you do? Well, they're telling you got to blame it on race. You got to have all the grievances you possibly can. You've got to, really push for baby removal. And then you're like, I'm never going to win, bro. It just proved to us we're never going to win. So I'm going to go on the economy. I'm going to go on immigration. Maybe I have a different immigration policy, but I do think we should do this. I'm going to run on, we maybe should have voter ID. And then you're going to find the Democrat Party is going to tell you, well, then you can't be a Democrat. You know what we did to RFK Jr. You're next. Get off. So if you kick the people off the train who have the ability to bring more people under the tent, you're still going to just be cellar dwellers. You're never going to win. It's crazy. I'm glad this is a small part of the population, but the only problem is the media. That's the population of it all that they spew. But they're not getting any viewership. So they're really just talking to a small sliver of people. And then, of course, Hollywood. But Hollywood's dying as well. Pray they... well, somebody said something, I can't post it, but, being the fact that they promote baby removal, you're eliminating a lot of your potential voters. And you've been doing it for what, 10 plus years at this point. So you haven't replenished your bench. That's what the newcomers were supposed to be. But now that Trump's going to show them the door, where's your bench? How are you going to make up, especially, and this is really, especially as people begin to embrace prosperity again. I don't even know what you people are going to be talking about a year from now. I mean, think about that. Think about the fact that Trump's going to, provided he can get it all this stuff done, provided he can do it. If he lowers gas prices, if he lowers grocery prices, if he lowers rent, if he lowers mortgage payments, if there's no wars, who's going to vote against that? You just lived through 4 years of hell. And the only thing these people had to vote for was baby removal. Now, here's another problem with that. All the nuts who are out there shaving their head and everything else, they're going to be 4 years older. You see, the older you get, most of the time, the more conservative you become. It's like, oops, I had a child. I guess I can't do what I did back then. I'm going to have to be more motherly. And dude, you got to be more fatherly. All of a sudden, you start realizing all the things that you were talking about when you're 21 and 22 don't make any sense anymore. Well, I got to put money away because I got to make sure this kid can get to college. And I got to make sure that, this kid's fed and my wife's fed and clothes. Well, he keeps growing out of clothes. Every couple of months he's growing. Now you can't do all that stuff that they told you. You ever notice? Most of these people on these shows are motherless. Just want you to focus in on that for a second. When you look at some of these hosts on MSNBC, and you see what their personal lives are like. They never had to go through most of the stuff that we've had to go through. They've lived not just in a bubble, but a cage. The cage of their mentality has kept them not knowing what people care about. They don't have children. They're given millions of dollars to spew what they have to say. They don't really have strong interpersonal relationships. Most of them are alternative, if I can use that as the word. And so they have no connection with people outside of New York City or LA. None. They don't know what it's like. Hey, listen, the baby needs more formula. And like I just said, do they even know that you have to keep buying clothes for this kid who starts off as about this big, and he doesn't stay that big. And he's going to grow, and he's going to grow, and he's going to grow. And some of them are like me, and they just keep growing. They're eating mom and dad out of house and home. They don't have any clue. They've never done it. Some of them get old and never done it. And I'm talking about the men too. Hey man, you got any children? No. What? No children. Never had any. But you're like 60. Yeah, I know. But you're telling us how we have to live. I want you to begin looking at some of these people and how they've lived, and if anything about them, how few of them have actual lives. The one who has, the resemblance of a normal life, I say resemblance because that mirage broke today. You look at Trump and his entire family is up there. All the kids, they look professional, they're doing well. And on the other side, you see Kamala Harris and Doug Emhoff. And his daughter, her daughter-in-law, whatever you want to call her. You know what happened to her today in terms of breaking news? I didn't want to show anything. They had to commit her. They had to put her in a mental institution. You could have looked at her and said, this woman doesn't look stable. But I didn't know she was that far gone to the point that Kamala lost the election and they had to put her into a mental institution or hospital to get her evaluated because she broke down. It's not normal. That's not normal by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah, Biden's got kids, and he's got Hunter. Well, he's turned out really well. Really well. Jill Biden have any kids? I'm not sure. I don't think Jill Biden has any kids. Oprah, you got any kids? And just go down the line. All these people on TV, and they're telling you how you should live your life, and they have no idea what that life is really like. I don't think a lot of people think about that. They turn the channel on, probably don't turn on MSNBC that much, but turn on CNN. Anderson Cooper? Nope. He lives that other life. Don Lemon? Nope. He lives that other life. And you just keep thinking, man, do any of these people live an American life? Do they have 2.2 kids? They have a dog in a garage and do things? Or are they all in this cage that they pretend to be in? That's a really sad existence. If you can't even understand what the sound and energy that comes off of a newborn baby and how that makes you feel inside and how it makes you feel as a man and as a mother to know that this is the life that I am now caring for. And I have to make sure that I care for this life until it's no longer living. And none of these people have that. None. I wouldn't say none. 90% of them don't have it. Never had it and never will have it. And so when you lecture me and tell me how I should live because I'm black and or white and to ignore the economy, it tells me firsthand you know nothing about what it means to be a family, and you don't care what it means to basically provide for a family. You don't care. That's why maybe they're pushing that lifestyle. Have you thought about that? Why all of a sudden the sudden push for, the alternative lifestyle in Transformers? Why is all that? You just have to ask yourself sometime. Let me continue with this.
Vast increase since the election, 700% increase in calls from LGBTQ youth to the Trevor Project, which offers a phone, online chat, or text to people. 700% increase in calls, texts, and chats compared to prior weeks. So people are scared about.
It doesn't even dawn on her what she just said. If you heard that 700% increase in calls to the, I can't say the word, but the certain hotline from alternative living people. Like I just said to you, why are they so unstable? And she's going to twist this around as if it's something that it's MAGA oriented.
They don't know what's going to happen to them. But I wonder if also, are people challenged with the idea of how do you interact with people who voted for this? Right?
How do you interact with people who voted for this? It's a freaking election. When Obama got elected, I'm pretty sure most conservatives said, no, that sucks. Yeah, it really sucks. I wish that he wasn't president. Oh, well, what's for dinner, honey? What do you mean? You continue to live your life. See, the problem is you have gaslit these people. You have told them, oh, when Trump gets in Project 2025, you're going to lose it. You're the reason why they're going. Oh God. Oh, what should I do? I already shaved my head. What do I do next? What? You did that.
Right? If you are an LGBTQ person and someone in your family voted essentially against your rights, or you're a woman knowing that, this man was calling people the B word, J.D. Vance was literally calling Kamala Harris the trash and said, we're going to.
The president of the United States called the entirety of Trump supporters garbage. Whoa.
Take out the trash. I know a lot of black women were incredibly triggered by that. And if you then meet somebody and
that was a good word. She's right. They were triggered. Meaning, they just went off the wall. They're crazy. Triggered. Because he said, let's take out the trash. Oh my God. Oh my God. 1-800 would take myself out. What do I do now? He said, take out. Seriously? If that's happening, one, it's your fault. Two, change your friend circle. I'm serious. Because damn.
They voted for the people who called you trash. Or if you're Puerto Rican, and someone voted that way, do you recommend, just from a psychological standpoint, being around them?
All right, so the woman she's talking to, just so some of y'all need to do some research before you start calling doctors. This woman is both a psychiatrist and a medical doctor, meaning she sees patients. And this answer that she gives to this question, what do you do when, you have some people that voted for Trump?
You got the holidays coming up.
So I love that you asked this question because, there is a push, I think just a societal norm that if somebody is your family, that they are entitled to your time. And I think the answer is absolutely not. So if you are going into a situation where you have family members, where you have close friends who have voted in ways that are against you, like what you said, against your livelihood, and it's completely fine to not be around those people and to tell them.
The other guy was saying how this woman just got on, and you wonder why these people are shaving their heads and doing crazy stuff and calling hotlines. This woman just said, if you're going home and your parents voted for Trump, disassociate with them. So you are actively working to destroy families. You could have said one of 1,000 different things. Hey, listen, you can say, hey, can we just not talk politics right now during the holidays? Can we just enjoy each other? You know, I brought some presents, and, you know, I just want to be with you, Mom, Dad, Uncle Freddie. I just want to be here and enjoy our company together. I want to see my nieces and nephews. Can we just not talk politics? That's probably the easiest way. Or number two, grow a set. Or number three, don't go. But to tell people that you should avoid them specifically because they voted the other way and never go see them again, and that's said by a medical doctor, a psychologist.
Why? You know, to say, I have a problem with the way that you voted because it went against my very livelihood, and I'm not going to be around you this holiday. I need to take some space for me. And I actually talked to...
As I've said in this video, you're seeing right now a Democrat Party and a media who can't... No, I'm going to change that. Who won't assimilate, who will not accept the fact that their ideology is effed. It's completely effed. They can't even look themselves in the mirror and say, people rejected us. People vomited on us. They wanted nothing to do with us. It's possible if you tell your family, if you're kind of nuts to do that, your family may say, oh, thanks, hang up. They may not want you around. If you're that much raving of a lunatic, you know what? I don't want you around Uncle Freddie and Grandma and the nieces and nephews. I don't want you because you're going to talk to them and tell them they need to shave their hair and basically cut off their stuff. So you stay home. You do us all a favor. You're right. You are absolutely right. Stay your ass in New York. We'll be okay. Merry Christmas. Oh, that's right. I can't say that. Oh, whatever it is you do. All right? Oh, I can't have you for Thanksgiving because, oh my God, we invaded and took over the Native American. Stay your ass in New York. Eat some, I don't know, you want to eat turkey, it's meat. Go ahead and have a salad. Go have a salad in your apartment in New York and watch reruns of Joy Reid. Don't come. It's fine. We'll be okay. Trust me, we'll be okay. We're going to put up the Christmas tree. We're going to sing Christmas carols. Oh, holy night. Oh, you didn't want to hear that either, are you? Because you're whacked. So maybe you're right. Maybe stay the hell home. Because you don't have the mental capacity to interact and relate with people. I want to sing Christmas carols. I can't drink eggnog anymore because it's too sweet unless they come up with some non-sugar eggnog, but have a little eggnog. I want it. Down here in Florida, it's kind of weird, growing up in Connecticut because the smell of fireplaces, you could smell it when you walked outside. Maybe there'd be some snow on the ground. And Christmas just had a different aura to it up north. Down here, it's like the beach, and it's like, okay, what are we doing today? Yeah, we're going out to dinner. It just doesn't have that same effect, except when you're with family. You see, I know whether it's me and Robin, whether we travel, whether neighbors come over, you get around people you love and you want to be around. And I'm not going to trust me, there are some people in Robin's family who are Democrats. They're not these crazy nuts. And we've gone up to the mountains. Can't go this year because with the hurricane, but we've gone up to the mountains, and you know what? We enjoy each other. We have turkey. We sing Christmas. They just didn't vote a certain way. But they don't shave their heads and call the 1-800 what do I do line and put nose rings in. Go watch your reruns of Joy Reid and Rachel Maddow. Enjoy yourself with your salad. And don't come. Don't care. Don't come.
Adults as well as advising parents for children. I mean, I think, I don't think that you should force children. I don't think you should force adults to be around people just because they're your family. I think there's a level of...
I'm sorry. Unless you've had some family strife, I don't think there's many of us who are forced to be around our family. Every year you circle the calendar and you're like, okay, where are we going? Whose house? Who are we visiting? Ashley, you might get ready because if we come, we're coming with the dogs. And so we have to invade somebody's house because we come with baggage. But if we go someplace or whether we fly away and we have time together because you want to. No one's forcing you to come. No one's forcing you not to come. That's your choice. But I still say it. If that's how you feel with your nose ring and shaved hair and psychoanalyzed babble, stay your ass in New York. Do us all a favor. Don't even go to the airport. Don't even get on a train. Just stay there. Take a taxi around. Go to some bodega. Pick up some organic lettuce and head back into your hovel and leave us all the hell alone while we're singing Christmas carols and watching Thanksgiving Day football. Don't need it. And these people just don't seem to understand it whatsoever. It makes me sick.
Need to establish boundaries. And if you feel like you need to establish boundaries with people, whether they're your family or not, I think you should very much be entitled to do so. And I think it may be essential for your mental health.
I think there are a lot of families out there who don't believe.
Okay. This next piece may get this video taken down. So I'm just going to warn you right now. Make sure you're sitting down. Make sure you're not drinking anything because you'll spit it all over your computer or your phone. And I'm going to have to let it play because I can't do too much interaction here because the people upstairs may not like what I have to say. But you're going to know what I'm thinking. And as you listen to these people, you're going to realize at this point that there really is no coming back. You're going to realize at this point there is a situation happening where we're going to lose a good portion of the population who just can't understand what life is. They've been so brainwashed and so gaslit, and some of them are the gaslighters. You see, they have built livings. They have prospered because they have been the people who have put out this narrative, and they can't believe at this point that this narrative is dying and that Trump is taking it, ripping it, burying it, and you're never going to see it again. So as you watch this, we can watch along, and well, let's just see what this guy has to say, shall we?
Boundaries. And if you feel like you need to establish boundaries with people, whether they're your family or not, I think you should very much be entitled to do so. And I think it may be essential for your mental health.
I think there are a lot of families out there who don't believe boys should play girls' sports.
They're not boys. I'm not going to listen to transphobia at this table. I am not going to listen to you call a trans girl a boy.
Are you going to allow me to finish my explanation?
When you use a word that's a slur, I'm going to interrupt. That's not how it is. They're not boys. They're not.
You know what I want to say, right? They're looking, so I'm not allowed to. But there's a couple problems I have with this. One, as I've been saying through this video, they're not ready to move on. They don't understand why they lost. Secondly, more importantly, I think at this point, because Trump's going to fix number one. But number two, you have become so comfortable in telling us what we can say, how we can say it, when we can say it, that you can't even imagine that a grown-ass man sitting in front of you, you're going to tell them, I'm not going to sit here, I'm just not going to take it. You can't say that. What do you mean I can't say that? You're not the vocabulary police. You don't get to tell me, I'm a grown-ass man, what I can say. They've gotten so comfortable in doing that. They have become so comfortable in taking the language and putting in a snow globe and saying, this is what you say nowadays, because they've been helped by these people to tell you, I'm not going to. He's on a CNN panel, and he's telling a man, a black man, by the way, he's telling a black man what you can and can't say. How's that okay? But anyway, he's telling him you can't say that. I'm not going to sit here and let you say that. There is no place to come. There's no place to work with these people. If they don't even want to allow you to speak, they are never going to basically come back to a realized situation where they can address what they've done wrong in this election. The guy fumed. He went off the charts as soon as it got. Listen to this.
Boys, they're not playing girls softball. I'm not going to sit there and listen to that.
Let's reset for a second because, look, this is a really heated issue, right? And Sharmichael, I know you. I know that you understand that people have different views on this. I think out of respect for Jay, like, let's try to talk about this in a way that is respectful.
Wait a second. What about my respect? What about the way I feel? What about the way that people feel, hey, listen, no, I don't want that in women's sports. You're going to talk to me like you're my mama? No, you're being disrespectful. No, he's being disrespectful. Most of the country finds what this dude said as being disrespectful. And you have the nerve to chastise me and tell me I can't use language that I want to use that's not illegal? Because this moron decides, he's going to get upset, his fifi hurt, his nipples got hard. What are you talking about? That should tell you, this piece right here, well, actually, all this shit I've showed you so far, should tell you, be happy Trump won and get ready for 2026 and 2028 because these people ain't changing. They have to, Hillary said they have to go through, we had to go through deprogramming. These people, they need some serious mind help. For you to react that way because a man on a panel is talking, there's something wrong.
So let me rephrase this since I'm being targeted here.
I don't. Just to be clear, you are not being targeted.
I am, but it's okay.
I'm specifically saying that I know that you are not intending to be transphobic.
He should know that I'm not. But he wants to sit here.
See, when they put that 5-letter word at the end of any word, transphobe, Islamophobe, it's insulting. You know why? Because I ain't afraid of them. Are you afraid of them? No, phobia means I have a fear, an irrational fear. I have no fear. That is another word that you've assigned to people. You've decided, you know what, if we call them XYZ phobe, we're letting them know you have the problem. You have a phobia. If you have a fear of heights, it's called agoraphobia, I think. What is it? Yeah. Or a fear of spiders, it's arachnophobia. All these different phobias are people who have irrational fears for no reason. There's no reason you should, be afraid of heights. There's no reason you should be afraid of spiders unless you got bit by one. And there's no reason you should be afraid of XYZ. See, you have a mental block. You have a phobia. And so that in itself is telling me, wait, no, I'm not sick. I don't have any problem. I don't have any irrational fear. Look it up. Look it up yourself what the definition of phobia is. And it will say an irrational fear. And so she is telling people, as many of people have told you, you have a phobia, they are saying you have an irrational fear. I'm not afraid. It's not fear. I don't approve. I don't like it. I don't think it's cool. Whatever you want to put it there, it's not phobia. That's just another insult to tell you you have the mental deficiency. You have to see somebody about your phobia. Oh, you're afraid of heights? You need to go see a psychiatrist. Yeah, you don't like spiders? What's the one that's funny to me? 13. The number 13 is called, if I can recall, triskaidekaphobia. You have a problem with the number 13. You need to go see somebody. You have a problem with these people? You have a mental condition. You need to go see somebody. No, I don't. No, I'm not the one.
I'm calling you transphobic. I'm saying you're using a phrase that you know.
So the way regular people interpret it,
that's not regular people. That's not regular people. There's no consensus that these are actually boys. This whole thing about...
See, I told you I can't say what I want to say because what he just said. Y'all talk amongst yourselves because you know what I mean.
Trans girls is a canard. We're talking about a tiny, tiny sliver of the population.
That may be the
and
case,
we're using
but my point in terms of its effectiveness...
Just get to your point.
My point in terms of its effectiveness. Regular people with children look at these things and they say, you know what? This is a bit too far. I do not agree with this. I don't like this. I think Democrats are going way too much to the left.
The guy in the glasses, he can't even think straight right now. He's so mad. And he's mad because there's no rational response to this argument. None. They can't even believe that people rebuked it. They can't even fathom that you won't accept it. They've tried to ram it down your throat, and they got it landslided against them. The population said, hell no, we don't want this. And it can't even sink into them. Do people really not want this around their kids and family? Sorry. Yes, they don't. It's affirmative. Deal with it. And this guy is just looking like he's seething. He cannot believe what he's hearing.
Left on social issues, they're uncomfortable with it. A lot of
Look at his face.
people believe that. A lot of families believe that. You may disagree with that reality, but that's why Republicans kept running those ads over and over and over again, because they saw the metrics suggested that they were working.
In those ads over and over again and using.
It was all lies. It was all a lie, except for the lie that somebody could become somebody else. That's not a lie. The ads were lies, but the actuality of what you're calling real isn't a lie. You're trying to tell the rest of, and I'm going to be very careful, I promise, you're trying to tell the rest of the population that is now that, solely because they choose to be that. And you're telling us we're lying. How do you, most of us have been around a while. I'm in, my age, your age. Only like in the last couple of years did that become that. And now you're telling me I have to accept that is now that. But, you're trying to make me accept that overnight my dog turned into a mouse. And then you're mad because I keep calling it a dog. That dog, it's now a mouse or a squirrel or whatever. I mean, there's like 9,000 of them, right? Yeah, it could be a squirrel tomorrow. Maybe it's an aardvark on Thursdays, and on Fridays it turns into a raccoon. You tell me. I'm looking at it as a dog. It's gonna be a dog. God made it a dog. And you telling everyone, every God-fearing person in the world, that dog is now a pineapple. And telling us we're telling the lie. Don't turn me off.
Rhetoric like you just used, saying this is boys playing girls sports. First of all, we're talking about 5 people in the entire country.
You would prefer?
We're talking about trans girls being allowed to play with the people who are in their gender. And if you don't believe,
but they're not.
You don't have to listen to me. Listen to the American Medical Association, the American Psychological Association.
The American Medical Association.
I don't need to listen to some journal. I have eyes. I can discern. My dog is a Chihuahua, and he can't become a tabby cat. He's a Chihuahua. He's always going to be a Chihuahua. He can decide to play with the cat's puffy toy, but he's still a Chihuahua. And he's mad because you won't accept it. You keep rejecting it. You use your eyes and your mind, and you're not listening to what these people are telling you. How could you be this way? We need you to accept it. We demand that you accept it. And they can't even think of any other way. And now that we just got landslided in an election, you're not even willing to do a post-mortem and go, and this is what the black man's saying, hey, listen, you only got to piss at me. I'm just telling you what the electorate just said. The electorate just agreed with Trump in a landslide fashion, so don't argue with me. What are you going to tell all these people? And if you're that steadfast, if you are that hoodwinked into your insanity, you tell me how these people are going to come back in 2026 and 2028. They're not looking to change at all. They are still the abusive husband. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, honey, I won't do it again. I won't beat you upside the head. Here's some flowers and some candy. You sure? Yeah, I'm sure. Smack a ruby. Oh, here's some more. They're not changing. They're the same idiots they were on Monday. And now it's Saturday, and they're not changing anything. It's your fault. we just didn't do it strong enough. We need to somehow regroup and shove it down your throat some more. That's a novel strategy, man. Let me know how that works out.
This is not about the issue,
Guys,
right?
just
This is about trying.
Here's my plan.
Yeah. And so, the guy with the glasses, when he hears what Trump said, and this is, again, a lot of these videos that are circulating are from Agenda 47 on his website. So, most people didn't look, and so these videos are starting to drop now. They've been there for a while, and now people are like, oh, Agenda 47, what's that? Oh, here's what he's going to do. And he's going to do it. And so the guy who had the glasses in that last segment, he ain't going to like at all what President-elect Donald Trump is going to do come January. Listen to this. I can't comment on it because of, people upstairs, so I'm going to just let you listen to this.
To stop the chemical, physical, and emotional mutilation of our youth. On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care. Ridiculous. A process that includes giving kids puberty blockers, mutating their physical appearance, and ultimately performing surgery on minor children. Can you believe this? I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures and pass a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. It'll go very quickly. I will declare that any hospital or healthcare provider that participates in the chemical or physical mutilation of minor youth will no longer meet federal health and safety standards for Medicaid and Medicare and will be terminated from the program immediately. Furthermore, I will support the creation of a private right of action for victims to sue doctors who have unforgivably performed these procedures on minor children. The Department of Justice will investigate Big Pharma and the big hospital networks to determine whether they have deliberately covered up horrific long-term side effects of sex transitions in order to get rich at the expense of vulnerable patients, in this case, very vulnerable. We will also investigate whether Big Pharma or others have illegally marketed hormones and puberty blockers which are in no way licensed or approved for this use. My Department of Education will inform states and school districts that if any teacher or school official suggests to a child that they could be trapped in the wrong body, they will be faced with severe consequences, including potential civil rights violations for sex discrimination and the elimination of federal funding. As part of our new credentialing body for teachers, we will promote positive education about the nuclear family, the roles of mothers and fathers, and celebrating rather than erasing the things that make men and women different and unique. I will ask Congress to pass a bill establishing that the only genders recognized by the United States government are male and female, and they are assigned at birth. The bill will also make clear that Title IX prohibits men from participating in women's sports, and we will protect the rights of parents from being forced to allow their minor child to assume a gender which is new and an identity without the parents' consent. The identity will not be new, and it will not be without parental consent. No serious country should be telling its children that they were born with the wrong gender, a concept that was never heard of in all of human history. Nobody's ever heard of this, what's happening today. It was all when the radical left invented it just a few years ago. Under my leadership, this madness will end. Thank you very much.
One of the ways...
Ooh, ooh. I saw that video and I'm like, oh, I'm going to include it, but I won't talk, and maybe they'll let it survive, but it probably won't survive. They'll probably get its sticker. Nope, you can't say that. Hey, your days might be numbered too. The man who is now the president-elect posted that video. The man who is going to be president in January said, game, cosplay is over. Halloween comes once a year. That's it. You're done. Why can he do that? Because he now has a mandate. He had a landslide, an overwhelming amount of votes. And so your games are over. At this point, your fighting is futile. That's why they're trying at this point to do what they can to Kerry Lake in Arizona. They're trying to do what they can for McCormick in Pennsylvania, because having all three parts of the government, White House, Congress, House and Senate, yeah, he's going to be able to do it. And oops, that's right, you guys made it only need 51 votes. You know, you push that through as well. So he only needs 51. Oops, it's coming. And there's nothing you can do about it. And if you don't change your ways, you're, like the title of this video, you may never win another election ever. Ever. It's only as close as it was, and it was a landslide because of what California and parts of New York did. So if he gets that other law put in where you got to have voter ID, you're likely never to win another election. So cry all you want. But until you change your ideology and your insanity to basically reflect what Americans really want, there's going to be the trail of tears at this point. Listen to this nut.
It's genuinely different is that he now has a kind of coterie of oligarchs, including the richest man in the world, who've kissed the ring, worked to get him elected, and are now apparently going to be running America. Now, this is a model that's actually familiar across the world. It's pioneered and perfected by strongmen like Viktor Orban in Hungary and Recep Erdogan in Turkey, and of course, Vladimir Putin in Russia. All of these rulers have their little crew of corporate and industrial titans who often hold no official government titles, but do the work of the regime in ways large and small, legitimate and otherwise, in return for their access and special privileges.
This guy did this last night. Again, no contrition. Just going to keep pushing the stories. Going to push the narrative. Going to compare him to dictators. All you're doing is... We don't care. I don't even know who the audience that you're trying to reach. It doesn't matter at this point. It's over, Chris. Deal with it. Or not. Either way, we don't care.
Including squeezing the state coffers to line their own pockets. As the Atlantic's Franklin Foer puts it, the regime does the bidding of the billionaires, and in turn, the billionaires do the bidding of the regime. Power grows ever more concentrated as the owners and the corrupt leaders conspire to protect their mutual hold on it. In short order, this arrangement has the potential to deliver a double blow to the American system. It could undermine capitalism and erode democracy all at once. And you may say, and you would be right, that corporate titans have always had a lot of political power, certainly more than the little guy in America. But really, this is completely different from anything we've seen before. Just look at Elon Musk.
I'm not just MAGA. I'm dark, gothic MAGA. America's just not just going to be great. America is going to reach heights that it has never seen before. The future is going to be amazing. Massive, crushing victory. Get everyone, friends, family, people on the street. Put the signs up, put the hat on. Let's go.
Elon with Trump.
Wildly charismatic billionaire rocket and electric car magnate spent $130 million of his own wealth to get Trump elected. That alone is unheard of. I mean,
what do you mean it's unheard of? How much did Soros? How much did he spend? It's unheard of that somebody would spend $100 million. Oh, really?
As far as we have records of, no one's ever done that before. Musk also bought Twitter for $44 billion and drove its value into the ground. I mean, essentially setting half that money on fire, like 20.
You have to be really stupid to listen to me. Understanding right now, Chris Hayes makes about $2 or $3 million a year. He makes $2 or $3 million a year spewing this stuff on MSNBC. He's a rich guy who I know, if we looked at his taxes, would be using conservative tactics on his tax return. He has to, because nobody making that kind of money would just simply send in a 1040. Ain't happening. But he has to keep up the mirage of the rich guy bad. And then he's saying that, Elon lit the money on fire. Problem I have with that is, as I said yesterday, Elon's worth between $290 and $300 billion. He spent $44 billion buying Twitter. Not determining how much is leveraged and how much was cast, but $44 billion. Which means he spent 15% of his net worth. 15%. Go ahead and think about what you make per year. Multiply that times 15%, and you're getting a relative equation as to what it means to him. The bottom line is that he's upset that Elon may have set it on fire. It's his money, right? You see, I don't understand, and they don't talk about that. It's his money. If he literally just wanted to rip it up in little shreds and put it in a shredder and then pour gas in a shredder and light all the paper on fire, it's his money. And I don't understand how these people are so pissed off that they want to tell you how to live, they want to tell you how to talk, and they want to tell you how to spend your money. And they think it's the government who should be doing that. The government should be telling you what you spend your money on. Actually, they should be taking it and spending it on what they want to spend on it.
$2 billion worth of value in order to turn the social media platform into a right-wing propaganda machine to get Donald Trump elected. And it kind of worked. And not
a right-wing propaganda machine. How would you define MSNBC? The audience who watches this stuff, I've done enough videos on it where I've shown you people, they say whatever they want. They can do whatever they want. They can post it on Facebook. They can post it on YouTube. Nobody questions what they say. And this man just lied his ass off. Elon set his money on fire to create a right-wing propaganda network.
Not just to get Trump elected, but to make the world's richest man even richer.
Wait a minute. You just told me he set it on fire. To me, if I burn something, it has no value. So which one is it, Chris? Did he set $44 billion on fire? Or is he about to get filthy, stinking more rich because Twitter is viable? X is viable.
Tesla among this week's biggest gainers on the S&P, up nearly 20%, fueled, of course, by the president-elect's victory. That surge resulting in a windfall for Elon Musk, who now has a net worth of $290 billion.
That's old. It's like about 305 right now because he's got so many holdings and so many different things. It's up to about 305 right now.
I mean, you see, right? You don't have to be like super sophisticated to see how like wildly corrupt this could be.
No, tell me, how does he owning Tesla and government projects and Trump being president give you any evidence of corruption whatsoever? You see, corruption is a word that defines illegality, something that's untoward, something that shouldn't be happening because it breaks laws. You guys just spent the last 8 years going up Trump's behind with a magnifying glass. Couldn't find anything. I'm sure they've been going up Elon's butt with the same magnifying glass. And if there would have been any way to take Elon down, the Biden-Kamala administration would have done so. So you just defamed the man by saying he's corrupt. He doesn't have time to sue you. He'd rather just buy your network and turn it off at this point. But where's the corruption? Because corruption is a term that you just basically accused him of being, or saying that it invites corruption, when we all know that right now, this is probably going to be the most above-board administration in United States history. After what you've done and what you've basically tried to do to Trump over the last 8 years, you don't think he knows at this point, okay, guys, we got to be squeaky. You've impeached him twice. We all know that. He's been convicted at this point of 34 felonies and this and that and the other thing. You don't think he knows? You for an instant think that both he and Elon didn't sit down and said, okay, here's what we're going to do, but we need to make sure we do it correctly. And you don't think the richest man in the world and another rich guy called a army of attorneys in and said, okay, how do we structure this to make sure everything is clean? You don't think so, Chris? If you don't think that, then you shouldn't be on the air.
Trump isn't even president yet, but the mere fact he will be has investors flocking to invest in Elon Musk companies because Musk is close to the press. They know. In fact, they probably saw the Trump family photo from Mar-a-Lago celebrating the day after the election, a family photo that, interestingly, doesn't include Melania Trump, who I think is Donald Trump's wife the last time I checked. But there's Elon Musk. He gets the friends and family discount now.
Why do you think all of a sudden Twitter has more X has more value? Okay, Chris, you probably haven't done much in business, so let me go ahead and explain it to you. For the last 4 years, the Biden administration with Kamala Harris has worked hard to try and attack X. They've also gotten some of their cohorts in countries around the world to attack X. You've colluded with advertisers to try and boycott X because you have told them their best interest isn't to align with Elon Musk. But he persevered. He kept going. I don't need you. I don't care if you want to boycott me. In fact, he went on CNBC and said, what, famously? Go F yourself. But now, the reason why advertisers are flocking back is because they know all that crap is gone. They don't have to worry about having their butts looked at because they're doing business with Elon. They know at this point, Trump is not going to come after Elon. He's not going to try to come after his advertisers. He's not going to try and come after these other countries. So, of course, advertisers are like, all right, it's a new ballgame, right? We're all good? We're good. Let's go.
And while he's sitting on billions of dollars of government contracts to the point where the U.S. space program has become largely dependent on him, now he's going to be something approaching a kind of co-president.
Not only is Twitter not a real place, but it's become...
Whose fault is that? You needed him to put together the ambulance to go up to the space station. Our ineptitude, our people at NASA couldn't get it done. And so you had to... Hey man, could you go get these people? They're stuck. You want me to go get them? Yeah. So you don't have anybody here that can go get them? No. Okay. I'll send you the invoice, okay? Would you rather those people still be up in space? Would you rather these people still be in a position where they couldn't get home? There's a reason why Trump created the Space Force. And with the Space Force, now we're going to see what kind of stuff Elon can do. But you're never going to continue if you continue thinking that everything about X is worthless.
Co-president.
Not only is Twitter not a real place, but it's become a toxic cesspool filled with nothing, not about right, it's not about conservative, it's just filled with misinformation, disinformation, and conspiracy theories. So,
which you just did. You just spouted misinformation, disinformation, and conspiracy theory. You just said it was a right-wing propaganda network. Probably because nobody wants to hear what you have to say. You see, all these people in all these networks, like I said last night, it's easy for them to go on television sets and say this and say that because they never had to build their own audience. They could go on television and they thought everybody would just listen to what I have to say because I'm on this show, I'm on Morning Joe, you have to listen to me. And now people are like, no, I'm going to go listen to Joe Rogan. I'm going to listen to Aiden Ross. I'm going to listen to Theo Vaughn. I'm going to listen to what Barry Cunningham has to say. Oh my God, I can't even believe that. Tell me that's not true.
I would rather not have the left replicate that. if that's what's required.
Okay, good. Don't. I understand what he just said there. They just saw this election tilt, where mainstream media was completely rendered moot, to the point where doing a space on X with Elon got him 1 billion views. Doing this thing with Jake Paul, gazillion views. Doing this thing with Aiden Ross, gazillion views. Going on Joe Rogan, gazillion views. We don't want to replicate that. Oh, okay. I hope that's what y'all think. Because if that's what you think, then 2026 and 2028 is done. They have learned nothing. What I've tried to do in this video is show you they're not coming back. They have no designs on trying to, at least right now, on trying to change their ways. It was you people who messed up. You just started listening to these wrong people. We got it good.
I think the deeper question that the question's getting at is that if you look at the data in this election, the amount of reach of all of these alternative, I'm talking about the whole podcast space mostly, but also social media, the interviews that Trump did, not starting with Rogan, but Theo Vaughn and all of these other things he did, incredible reach compared to old mainstream media, right? Where
I think the first thing he said out of his mouth was Twitter/X isn't real. These people don't even realize what they're saying. You mean, remember the X space with Trump did 1 billion views. The video of Joe Rogan, which these guys tried to hide, went on YouTube and then it went to X and did a gazillion views. And so now he's saying, oh, these things had so many views because they made us irrelevant. But his first thing out of his mouth was, it's not real. I think they showed up on Tuesday and showed you it was real.
the number of people that Kamala Harris reached by going and talk to Brett Baer is a tiny fraction of, if you look at the average, not just the number of downloads, but then the social media plays on YouTube and other places that Trump did by hitting all of those mostly bro-friendly, skewing young male podcast platforms. I think the issue is not so much that the left, quote, needs a platform. There are a bunch of people on, Harris went on Call Her Daddy, right?
Do y'all know what Call Her Daddy is? I'm not telling you to go there, because some of you went there, and if you saw what they usually talk about, maybe that wasn't the best place for Kamala Harris to spend some time. Call Her Daddy is basically soft, I don't even want to say that word so they don't trigger it. Soft, They do different things. They talk about those things that you do with a man and a woman. Yeah, that's the kind of place it is. Maybe that's not where she should have been. Not at all.
All the smoke, a few of those things. What Democrats have to figure out is the fact that the way to talk to voters who are not our age, and the large swelling number of the segment of young voters and middle-aged voters, is that they have to start talking to them on platforms that are not 60 Minutes and Fox News or MSNBC or any of these, I hate to say it, dying legacy media platforms, when the way to reach the growing parts of the electorate is through.
But isn't that another way of saying that Twitter is real? Well, the internet is real. Somebody just wrote a big article about this. That is where reality is now, and this is perfect for the movie you're going to do. No, really, this is.
I loved it. He's like, well, didn't you just basically come around to the same conclusion that it is real? The first thing out of his mouth was, oh, it's not real. And then he spent the next 2 minutes basically proving it was real. And I commend Bill Maher for sitting back there, letting the guy talk, and then basically trip over himself by, dude, it is real. You just said it's real. So until these people actually do it, and until they actually change lanes, they're done. And they're never going to win another election ever if they don't have. Well, here's what somebody calls me. I'm a strategist, and you've called me and say, listen, how can we fix the Democrat Party? How can we make ourselves more viable and more presentable to America? Okay, first thing, fire all these people. get them all off of television, give them severance checks, and bring in different people. Because damn, they're done. Their entire mindset, you keep bringing these guests on, you need to go in right now and say, Joy, Rachel, Chris Hayes, Joe Scarborough, Mika, Jim Acosta, Dana Bash, step. When you have a problem, you need to fix it. You don't want to try and see what will happen. Everything from the people you bring who are host these shows to the people who you bring on as guests. Rip up the Rolodex, throw it away, burn it. That's where you have to start. And until such time as CNN, MSNBC, and the rest, ABC and C, until you do a wholesale change and get rid of all of them, until you do the Jeff Bezos and say, we need to change, it's not going to. Every single one of you people watching right now and who will be watching on the replay, understand you cannot change your life until you've admitted you've made a wrong choice. Until you stop the behavior that has caused the bad choices. So that's why I truly feel they're never going to win again, because in order to win, they're going to have to do a 180 into what they're doing now. It didn't work. It didn't work badly. You got landslided. You don't need much more data or information. The data information is everybody you have on these networks is wrong. Okay. So Barry, what do you recommend? Fire them all. Run movies until old movies or something until you can replace them all, but fire them all today. Because the first thing you need to do is let the people know you're serious about changing. This has been 4 days since the election, and I just showed you guys some vomit. And so watch their viewership just decline something crazy. Because they didn't change at all. And now they're blaming you for not doing what they've told you to do. You need to accept that the Chihuahua can become a pineapple. You have to. I'm offended. I don't even want you talking about this right now. Then you don't need to come on the show ever, ever, ever again. Abby, I'm sorry. You got to go too. Everybody has to go. But you know what? The reason why I'm smiling is we know they won't do that. We know they're going to just keep pushing forward with the same dinosaurs, the same insanity over and over and over again. These people will not survive. At this point, even people on the left are going to be going, you know what? You've lied to me. I told you yesterday about Charlemagne the God. Charlemagne the God said, y'all lied to me. You told me this man was Hitler and blah, 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 blah. And yet, the next day, nobody's saying it anymore. Karine Jean-Pierre up at the podium said all this stuff. And he goes, y'all lied to me. No, they just didn't lie to you. They gaslit you. They hypnotized you. They made you think what they wanted you to think. And now, Charlemagne the God knows, hey man, I got a career here. I need to change this up. I need to begin letting my audience know next day. Wasn't 2 days, the very next day, Charlemagne the God said they lied to me. I'm tired. Stephen A. Smith, very next day, boom, hey man, here's what they did wrong. People who know that they have a career that they have to fix, really quick, hey man, this didn't work the way I thought it worked. I need to bring in a new quarterback and a new coach real quick. I can't just keep doing the same thing. So MSNBC, CNN, CBS, ABC, NBC, you're doing the same thing. You're locked into losing. Which, thank you, because I know you're not going to change. You're going to keep trying to do the same thing and watch your viewership just go like this. Or just turn on X and watch people shaving their heads. That's some classic comedy there. I mean, I like that. Go ahead and self-identify as much as you possibly can so we know who to stay away from. I'd love to. I always said, people like, Barry, have you experienced racism? And I'm like, a little bit. I don't know. And I always said, you know what? I'd rather somebody come into McDonald's or a club or something. Wear your hood. Wear the hood. That way I know to stay away from you. You people on MSNBC and you women shaving your head, you're self-identifying. You're walking into a store. I'm like, there's a nut. And I can just go this way. I don't even have to talk to you. Thank you. So shave all your heads. I don't care. I encourage you. Most men will encourage you. Shave all your heads. Let us know in advance. You know, I'm not in the dating scene. I've been married for 33 years. I can't imagine a young man who decides, you know, he wants to ask somebody out for a date, and now it's perfect. Not her. and think about it, you're in college right now, and there were some people that you thought, maybe I'd like to ask her out. And the next day she shows up in the dining hall, and you're like, okay, wow, that was close. I don't need to ask her out anymore. You're on fire today, Barry. Thank you, and God bless you. Thank you. We need to start doing an 0500 show, a 10 show, a 1360. Oh, you want me doing it all day? Oh my God! I mean, when I did this, I said to myself, so much stuff is happening, and I'm like, let's wait until 3, let most of the day happen, and I'm sure while I've been on here, more stuff has happened that I'll probably do tomorrow. Because Trump, I remember when the election happened, I told you, the man ain't taking no time off. People like, was he going to go fishing, go play golf somewhere on the island? Nope. Nope. He's going to push the pedal and go 900 miles an hour into Pennsylvania Avenue. He ain't waiting, and so we can't either. Regarding Doug's adult daughter, what's that say? That is private. Her private medical info. It's not even true. Huh? What do you mean it's not true? What do you mean it's not true? You think I just made that up? You must not be on X. I hate when people point at me and say things like that when it's so easily. It'll take me a second here. For your edification, Ella Emhoff. First thing search is your friend. You can find out so much information with a quick search. It's very simple. Ella Emhoff, Kamala's stepdaughter, has been admitted to inpatient mental health treatment following Kamala's loss. Rumors are that Kamala's stepdaughter, she was already, could help expedite the mental, it's all over. Breaking. Ella Emhoff, the daughter of Kamala Harris, has been admitted to a mental hospital following her stepmother's loss to Donald Trump. Don't call me out. I do way too much research for people to tell me, oh, that's not true. Troll elsewhere. Because I put your comment up for a reason. It's everywhere. I mean, literally everywhere. SV's texted me. What you got, brother? Let's see if he found something, because something could be happening like right now. What did he text me? What is this? Tucker Carlson. Okay, so now we have. I'll do another show on that, but it seems as though Mitch McConnell and the rhinos are trying to fight against Trump, which I'm pretty sure Trump expected. I'm sure he expected that. But anyway. I'm not the one who makes this stuff up. I'm just telling you that. It's everywhere. Well, I bring the receipts because I do the research before I even do the show. You think these things just appear? I have to go looking for them and go, okay, let me look in my thing and my software. I'm like, okay, show me. Oh, yeah, that one. Oh, that'll work. I ain't making it up. The establishment is the enemy within. Yeah, it's crazy. And it's not. What I do here is I try to basically put together information so you guys don't have to go looking and searching and finding all this stuff, and definitely so you don't have to watch these shows. And then I come up with an overarching theme on it, and that theme to me today was they can't win. And so people would say, if I was talking to you face to face, Barry, why is it you think they can't win another election? Well, because they won't change. Well, why do you think they won't change? Here's why. And that's, I literally have that kind of conversation in my mind before I even do a show. It's like, what are you seeing? And based on what you're seeing, what's your conclusion? All right, now, when you present this conclusion to everybody, how are you going to prove your case? So what I'm trying to do is I do that, and I lay out my case. I allow you to go do some research on your own. If you're like, I don't really know if what Barry just said there is true or not. Let me go look, and then you can look on your own. So that woman who said, no, it's not true about Doug Emhoff's daughter. Well, then there's about 3,000 people who have posted about it, and let's see how that comes out. Barry, your show is amazing, worth watching every single time you're on. Thank you very, very much. So it's fun to me at this point. I don't like what Mitch McConnell is doing. I almost think what McConnell is doing is working with the Democrats. And here's why. And I think many of you know it. When Trump gets in and he wants to basically show all this information that's out there, I think it's going to implicate a bunch of them. I think a bunch of them are going to get caught with their pants down. They're going to be found out to have so much involvement in some of the stuff. And I do believe, as I've said many times, that these people are the Washington Generals. So if any of you have been involved in watching the Harlem Globetrotters, the Harlem Globetrotters were basically a team of clowns, good clowns. They had skills, and the team they always beat was the Washington Generals. These guys were paid to travel with the Harlem Globetrotters and to be made to look stupid. They were paid well. Look like you're inept. Look like you can't do anything, and let us win all the time, and we'll keep paying you. Sound familiar? I found what SV sent me. Let me go ahead and read it to you. This was 3:20, so about 2 hours ago. What the X is going on in the U.S. Senate? Hours after Donald Trump wins the most conclusive mandate in 40 years, Mitch McConnell engineers a coup against his agenda by calling early leadership elections in the Senate. Two of the three candidates hate Trump and what he ran on. One of them, John Corwin, is an angry liberal whose politics are indistinguishable from Liz Cheney's. The election is Wednesday, meaning coming up in a couple days. It's by secret ballot, and it will determine whether or not the new administration succeeds. Rick Scott of Florida is the only candidate who agrees with Donald Trump. Call your senator and demand a public endorsement of Rick Scott. Don't let McConnell get away with it again. You're watching the Washington Generals play right now. They are the losing team who gets paid a lot to go along with what the clowns do. That is the most perfect analogy of what these guys are doing, and now they're moving to protect the Democrats. They want to put in somebody who will basically hurt Trump. Despite the fact that the country has a landslide mandate, they're doing funny games. And they're going to try and put in either John Thune or John Corwin, who are just the same as McConnell. He wants to handpick them. And Rick Scott is the guy who everybody says is the conservative that we want. And now they're trying to basically block Scott and put one of these two guys in by secret ballot. Which means McConnell has probably already talked to a bunch of the people. You in? You in? You in? Yeah, we're in. And so he can put in someone that's going to stop Trump. For now. You have to think that Trump foresaw this. You had to think that Trump at this point is playing, as they've been saying for years, 3D chess, because he knows what they're going to do. He knows these people aren't going to go quietly. Winning the election was just stage one. That's why I decided that, I told you guys, we got a lot of work to do. Now we have to fight worse or harder. Why? Because now we got to fight both sides. To get to the election, we just had to fight and make sure Kamala Harris wasn't elected. Now moving forward, we got to fight them and the Republicans. That's why I don't like people like, are you a Democrat, Republican? I don't even want to say Republican. I'm MAGA. That's what I am. I'm MAGA. I don't even want to associate with these people because they're evil and complete cowards themselves. So now you got to get together. You have got to work to get, not just make sure to beat up on them, but we need to beat up on these people too. So what Tucker is saying right here is true. Call your senator and demand a public endorsement of Rick Scott. Not just call, post about it. Post, CC, copy them, put their handle in, let them know we're not going to take this anymore. Make it so that these people are exposed. At this point, they know they need to railroad Trump. That's why I told you we're not even halfway there. We just got over the first hurdle. We're going to see hurdles over and over and over. They need to do anything they can. Who knows? McConnell might be on one of these lists. Or he may be protecting somebody who's on these lists. Don't trust any of them. You know, some people have said to me, you know, yesterday, hey, I don't know if I trust Rubio, or I don't know if they trust Rick Scott. At this point, the only people you can trust are the ones that Trump names. Obviously, so far, he has talked to the people he knows, are you with me or are you against me? And notice, he went to Texas, he went to John Corwin, never showed up, none of his rallies. John Thune, none of his rallies. Take notice of what's going on. So Tucker's absolutely right. I mean, they're going to be fighting him. They're going to continue to fight him. And we just need to just keep going. Hi, Anna Elizabeth. Thank you very much for that. Ticks me off Tom Cotton wants Corin. Yeah, there's so many rhinos in there, man. So many. Somebody just posted this. Why? Cove Mountain, why am I all messed up? Tell me why I'm messed up. There's somebody put something in here. McConnell's tied it with the CCP. Yeah, exactly. Why am I messed up, man? You need to tell me that, why I'm messed up. Trump train. Yep, let's do this. All right, so it's Saturday, and I want you guys to have a good evening. I thank you for tuning in on a Saturday. We'll see what we can do tomorrow as well. What's available, what kind of news. Like you just saw, SB just sent that to me. That's something that popped up, so we'll keep an eye on that story, because as of right now, just to let you know, nobody's sleeping. Everything is in play. Trump's doing what he can do. He's going to keep fighting, and the news is just going to keep coming. It's just going to keep coming. So if you guys are interested in seeing more and more of it, just please go ahead and let me know. I'll keep pushing it out there. Let me try something first here when I get to the super chats, if it's working today. The other day I tried to do it and it didn't work. Let me see if it works today. Yeah, okay, it's working, I think. All right. Let me go ahead and acknowledge the super chats. This is from Mary Cohen. Thank you, Barry, for all you do. Thank you very much. This one out here from Georgia Cat Lady. Let them keep self-destructing. Incoming. Yes, they will. They will do that for sure. Domo Doc Mojo 1. Love the new shows and format. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much. That's what that makes me so happy. I'm trying to do news right now because Trump's not going to be in rallies every day. So that was my idea. Thank you very much. Mark of reality. Kamala spent $1 billion while Trump spent $400 million. Did you see the list of the people she gave money to? I mean, I was going to wait till tomorrow, but let me just give you one of those names. She gave Oprah $1 million to host that interview. $1 million. And she's $20 million in debt. Absolutely crazy. Miseducation, epidemic, tragedy. Let me continue here to the next page. Hope I don't miss anybody. Yeah, Zuckerberg did spend $400 million on last election. Robert Petruska, MSM better get on board. They can't. I don't know what their contracts are, but it's going to take a wholesale cleaning. They're going to have to get rid of all of them. Let's see what here. This is from Stacy Lane. Stacy, thank you. Thank you for your hard work and dedication. You guys tuning in makes it all worthwhile. So thank you very much. Thank you, Dawn Connor. They don't get it, Barry. What's it say? The spew race bait, hate bait, sad for all the great information. I bought crypto. Why should we go somewhere in January? What do you mean? Go where in January? Just be careful out there. Let's see what it is. Dawn. This is from Big Cat. Oh my God, I can't believe they haven't started suing university for this mental pandemic. 700% increase in people going to calling the 1-800 help me out line. Crazy, absolutely crazy. Let me see this. Go to the next page. Thank you. Where are we? 3540 crew. I believe it was God's plan for 2020 to be stolen. The only way to truly expose it. I'm starting to believe that too. We would have never known any of this stuff if 2020 didn't happen. RFK, right, Rasen Hunter says RFK is going to make chicken great again. I think he's going to do a lot of things. Adams Electric Universe, thank you very much. Mark of Reality, again, since the kooks started shaving their heads and you picked them out in a crowd, is dating about to get safer? Probably a lot safer at this point. I don't even know what, I saw one video and I'm thinking to myself, tell me you're not going to shave your head. This woman had a full head of beautiful hair. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she's shaving off those locks that, I couldn't believe it. You're crazy. Barry, half of your, where'd that go? Half of your audience is white. I am so racist that I get my news from the black man. Oh, you know what else is kind of amusing as well? They think that social media /X/YouTube, they think it's all young people. That's another data point they're completely missing. I've seen the analytics on who watches my videos, and they would be shocked. They would absolutely be shocked, which is another thing they're completely missing. Kamala should have went with child support, not baby removal. Oh my goodness. From Michael Nace, Elon bought YouTube. No, he did not. I know that pops up a lot in our chat. No, he did not. Google's not selling that for. Nope, didn't happen. Love your shares, Maggot. Thank you very much. Just let everybody know if he bought YouTube, everybody would know. People are putting out these stupid videos and they're saying he bought. Didn't happen. Just telling you right now. Trust me, it did not happen. Growing up in the 80s, we didn't want to be labeled. Now the younger generation needs a label and to express their differences. I don't get it. Brainwashing. They've been brainwashed. And it's funny, that's something else that always cracked me up. You know the story about Rosa Parks, and Rosa Parks wanted to sit in the front of the bus. And that's what caused the big problem, like, get your ass in the back. You're like, no, I want to sit here in the front. And now when you see a bus, where are the brothers sitting? Why do y'all run into the back when a woman fought to sit in the front? Just saying. Are you concerned about the inauguration? Thousands will be there, and certainly violent leftists. How can the patriots be protected in such an open area? I personally, they haven't announced it yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't have one. In fact, he may say, you know what, there's no reason to go spend all this money. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to have a rally in Alabama or somewhere, and we're going to have, maybe back in Butler, someplace, Jersey Shore. He's going to have 100,000 people at a rally, and just not even do it in Washington. I would do it if I was him. I would reward the people who stood with me. I don't need to have it in Washington if I were him. Lena Newton, since the female Dems are saying they don't want to date men, that solves the baby removal issue. Yeah, that kind of quickly. Trump saved so many baby lives. Oh, we're just not going to have sex with any white men. Okay, deal. Will you all say a prayer for my daughter and grandbaby that may be coming early? They are safe and healthy throughout this time. Thank you. Oh, definitely will say a prayer, and I'll ask JJ to include that as well. Thank you very much. And yes, praying for your daughter and your granddaughter. And congratulations. Everyone is welcome here. MAGA, spread the word. Men and women are women. Let's get back to common sense. And it really is. common sense when you think about it. It's them who've tried to pull the wool over people's eyes and say, the Chihuahua is a pineapple. The Democrat, where's this? The Democrat from Lady Addie. The Democrats, their media, and many of the reporters aren't capable of listening. They can't shut up because they're speaking in an echo chamber. They're only talking to people who think like them, over and over and over again. Like I said, they're walking down the hall. Can you believe what happened? Oh, I can't believe it. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Move your studio to somewhere in Iowa or Oklahoma or Idaho. Go move your studio out there where they have to interact with real people. I wonder what would happen. Imagine it, Comcast. I keep saying Comcast so you know. Comcast owns MSNBC and obviously NBC. So if they move their studio to like Oklahoma and said, listen, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do the news show. First of all, most of them wouldn't go. I'm not moving to Oklahoma. Good, you made that easy. We're going to move the studios to Oklahoma. We got a nice big-ass studio, a plant out there. It's going to be fantastic. And you guys get to grow corn. Learn what it's like to be an American. Dyslexic tank. Imagine if they start setting up Elon's boring company at Penn Station that would revolutionize transportation. Yeah, that's something there. That would be incredible if they did something like that. Robin K., thank you for your devotion to making America great again. Barry, I'm from PA. Thank you very much, Robin K. This is from Hal. Congrats, Barry. Get some rest and soak in and enjoy. No, now you get to have some fun. News is going to keep coming. I've got a way to compile all this information to bring it to you. And now it's not the same. I mean, after going through what we went through last week, we had an 8-hour live broadcast during the election. And then he did 10 rallies over 3 days. I'm like, I went through training camp talking for an hour at this point. It's easy. It's real easy. Wow, Terry. Thank you very much, Terry Berry. Keep an eye on Mr. Berry. You're my go-to news and what's happening. Responsibility. You are my go-to answer to news. What's happening? Wow, I really, really, really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you again from Kathy Mackey, Barry, Mods. I'm glad I found your show. I'm glad you found it too. Thank you. Don't take it for granted. Don't. RFK has policies for the people, which allows we the people to suggest and discuss possible laws. It's free and fun. I go to I don't know if you guys ever, it's called a place called the Stretch Zone. And the Stretch Zone stretches your muscles and everything, and they bend you around like Gumby and do things. And my stretcher guy was, we hadn't talked politics. And then he started saying, you know what this Robert F. Kennedy Jr. guy is going to do? And I'm like, what? And, he's a good guy in shape and everything, younger guy. He's like, so many people in my family are now going to realize the crap that they eat. And just the fact, just realize this, just the fact that at this point he's beginning to tell people, flip the box around and just look at the ingredients. How many people go to the store and just, I'll have this, I'll have that, I'll have this, and they put it and they just buy it? How many people actually said, you know what? What's in this? Ooh. I can't even pronounce this. I think that alone is going to have a great effect on people. When they start questioning, what is benzothioxide number 3? What is it? Don't know. What is lipotate 515? What is red 40? That alone, I think, is going to make things much different, where people are now going to be looking at things. Fernando Cardenas, all eyes on Kari Lake's tabulation, please. Yep, as corrupt Katie Hobbs is trying to steal her election as she stole the race for Arizona's governor. Yep, you're absolutely right. But I think there's so many eyes right now. So many eyes on what's happening. The Pennsylvania race is pretty much over. And if they try and do something funky there, Trump's told them, you're going to jail. We're not going to let this happen again. So if they were to try and steal this from Kari Lake and they do some funny business, that's probably going to be the first focus of the DOJ, the new DOJ. The second focus will be what's going on in Pennsylvania. So y'all keep playing your games. But whoever Trump brings in as his DOJ, you're probably going to be the first person he looks at. There's a reason why Robert Ray decided he was going to, take a hike at this point. It's going to get crazy. Absolutely crazy. Let me go back to the top. Did I miss a couple? Yeah. No, I did this one already. Nancy Mary Cohen, thank you. I think I did this, but I'm making sure. Marcus, my brother, Marcus Anderson. Trump donated remaining campaign money to Democrats. Yeah, I saw that. He told her, you could have some of my money. Your $20 million in the hole. Oh, what a troll that was. From DJ Nuff Said, thank you very much. And from Virginia Lem, Barry, this has been your very best podcast yet. Loved it. Wow. Thank you very much. Thank you a whole heck of a lot. So, yeah, I'm segueing into a different mode until there's no more rallies. So I gotta work and put things together. So everything you guys say, I take it into account. The mods tell me after every show, I go, what'd they say? How was it? Because I can't see every comment. What do you think? What do we need to change? And and I try to make sure that I'm abreast of what you want. So do me a favor. If you have not as of yet, please go ahead and join our private free membership. I didn't want to do a YouTube membership, so I did it over on X. If you put that in your URL, it will go ahead and forward you immediately to our private free group on X, which is at about 9,000 people. 9,000 in a couple weeks. Thank you very much. It's free. Completely free. And all kinds of content and everything else. Check it out. It's free. All right, guys. Have a good Saturday evening. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you have an epileptic issue or problem with seizures, don't watch the outro. Gotta say that. But I'll talk to you probably tomorrow. I don't feel like watching the Dolphins lose. No, Dolphins don't play till Monday, so yeah, let's do something tomorrow. Yeah, we'll do it. I'll see if I can't schedule it about the same time. Talk to you tomorrow.